What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be taking a look at a list of units that I think they need to create free-to-play units for. So basically the entirety of the focus around this is that throughout my time playing Dokkan, I've farmed out like every character in the game at this point, so I've got all of the free-to-play characters, and then in more recent times, trying to build up, excess of units that I can link level to raise my power level, I decided to go and get a 1 in every single slot for every single free-to-play unit. Which means not only do I have like their max awakened copies at like whatever, easy aid versions that they have, but I also have all of the lower forms of them as well. So like this Bulma is a perfect example, right? I've got her uneasy aid to UR, the undokkan awakened UR, and then the unawakened SSR as well. So I went and did this for every single free-to-play unit in the game. And then I have also done this for a lot of summonable units as well. And as I collect these copies, I do fill out dupe paths and invest hidden potential system nodes, and then I also want to advance their super attack level, right? Because you can't actually fully invest into the hidden potential system unless a character's SA 10 anyway. So over time, I have just been continuously reminded that there are quite a few different named units in the game that have a lot of different cards with that exact same name, and there's 0 free-to-play farmable characters with that same name. So basically, this is a character that is just impossible to farm their super attack levels. And if you ever pull one of these characters, you are forced to use Kais, which are a valuable resource, in order to level them up. So that's what this list is basically going to be, is all of those units that I think it would benefit the community greatly if they were to release a free-to-play version that everyone could take advantage of. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and switch over to our other overlay here. Perfect. That way you guys can continue to watch me link level over here on the side while we take care of the entire video. Alright, so I've got a solid, let's count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's like about 20 units here that we're going to go over. They are in no particular order for the first bit here, and then I did actually put together a top 5 for the end of the video here, so just stay tuned for that. So yeah, the very first unit that we've got on the list here is Super Saiyan 2 Goku. So if you notice here, we've got a couple of different summonable units, so some of these are actually different. So, we've got this guy that drops as just a banner unit, this guy that drops as just a banner unit, and then obviously these are the 2 awakened versions of them above. And then on the very top row, we can actually ignore these. So we're going to be seeing these a lot throughout here. Obviously, this is every single unit in the game that has the name Super Saiyan 2 Goku, but some of these are not actually like the base form that you would be farming their super attack. For instance, like this one right here is the transforming Goku. He actually only becomes he only becomes Super Saiyan when you Dokkan Awaken him into a TUR. So when you're actually feeding in his SA levels, you're going to be doing that on a base form Goku. Oh, nice, we got a level 10 link for Daima Goku. I think he only has 1 level 10 link left now before he's finished. So you're not going to be worrying about like link level farming him. And then this right here is the Super Saiyan 2 Goku. That was the login bonus card for the 2nd anniversary, but he just Dokkan Awakens from the 1st anniversary, which is just a Super Saiyan Goku. So same exact deal with him there. And then we have a couple more, Super Saiyan 2 Gokus over here. Again, this guy awakens into him, and then he drops as just a Super Saiyan Goku, so you wouldn't have to worry about his super attack farming. So it really is just these 3 SSRs. That's why he's here at the very beginning of the list. Nothing too insane. It's just 3 banner units that aren't really even that usable. Their easy A's even are getting pretty old at this point, so nothing insane, but, just makes sense because I've had to spend basically hundreds of Kais on Super Saiyan 2 units over time, and I definitely don't want to do it anymore. Alright, so the next unit we've got on the list here is Super 17. So again, not too terribly many cards, to pick from here. Obviously, we have the AGL Dokkan Fest here. The STR Dokkan Fest drops as a 17 and Hellfighter 17, so you wouldn't have to invest them in that guy. And then we have the LR as well, the Tech Yellow Queen LR. And then on top of that, we just have the summonable SRs of 17s that Dokkan Awaken into the Super 17s here. So technically those count, but they really don't, because as an SR, they are Android 17 and Hellfighter 17, and obviously we have free-to-play farmable versions of both of those already. So it's really just pretty much just the Yellow Coin LR and then the Dokkan Fest unit. So nothing too insane there. Okay, the next unit we've got here is Perfect Cell. So this is a big one, because we've actually got 2 different Dokkan Fest units here, and then a banner unit as well. So yeah, you know, obviously there is, for Cell Perfect Form, we do have a farmable card. Actually, he should be right here somewhere. Yeah, for Cell Perfect Form, we have this guy. He drops from a first form Cell that you can get from the Cell Dokkan event, and then he Dokkan Awakens into the Cell Perfect Form. So we're good there, but as far as Perfect Cell is considered, yeah, no free-to-play options there. All right, next up we have Final Form Cooler. So this is definitely a bigger hitter, right? We do have the one banner unit that is summonable here. The AGL one here is a World Tournament unit. This int one drops from an int Final Form Cooler, or just an int Cooler SR that Dokkan Awakens into this. So obviously you can SA10 that guy pretty easily with just the regular coolers. But then we have a Dokkan Fest LR and a regular Dokkan Fest. So yeah, I think it's definitely needed for these 2 alone, but the fact that there are these couple other cards as well definitely makes an impact, right? Okay, so next up we've got Full Power Frieza here. Again, not too insane. We've got a Dokkan Fest LR, a regular Dokkan Fest, and then a Yellow Coin LR. Pretty straight up. That's just the 3 of them there. This unit, much like the Cooler, and honestly, quite a few of the other units you're going to see on this list, they do have a pretty common theme for a lot of them, which is just that they are like major headlining villains that a lot of the time this game, if they're going to bother investing any type of you know, work into like putting one of those units in the game in the first place, a lot of the times they just go ahead and make them some all-out Dokkan Fest, you know, alongside some crazy celebration, which is what we've seen for a lot of these cards we've been looking at. So yeah, I think it is kind of an unreasonable ask that they just give us a free-to-play, like, Final Form Cooler, or free-to-play, like, Full Power Frieza, right? These are, like, very, very, very token characters. But, you know, just for the sake of the video, I am bringing it up anyway. So I'm basically not saying that I'm expecting them to make free-to-play units of any or all of these at any time soon. I'm just saying it would be very helpful if they did. Okay, so next up we've got Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So yeah, this is definitely one that is a big deal here, right? Because not only do we have 2 Dokkan Fest LRs, including an Anniversary LR, we also have a regular Dokkan Fest, and then this is actually an Anniversary login unit. Which technically is still available in the shop during the anniversary times. You can buy them with whatever specific anniversary coins. So yeah, I mean, I guess technically for that reason he does count as free to play, because once a year you can buy him in a shop, but it's with a limited currency that you can't get infinite amounts of him, and he's also limited to only being available at that one point in the year, right? So I don't really consider it. I think it would be also, there's so many better resources. You would be a fool to spend all of your coins on just like SA farming a random Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So yeah, that is that one. Okay, next up we have Super Saiyan Gotenks here. So we have a couple of units. We've got the physical banner unit and the STR banner unit. Both of them could utilize this very well. We also have the AGL banner unit, the AoE one here. This other banner unit doesn't actually, he drops as a base form Gotenks. And then these two come from a Trunks SR, or a Goten SR and a Trunks SR. That Dokkan Awaken here. So these two are what I mainly have been using over time to give super attack levels to any of my Super Saiyan Gotenkses. But again, they are not farmable SRs, they're summonable SRs. So you do have to get lucky enough to pull the copies of the SRs in the first place, and then you could awaken them to use them as SA food. So yeah, we could definitely use a Super Saiyan Gotenks. And you know, on the other side of the coin than like all of those crazy villains and stuff, this is a perfectly reasonable unit that could receive a free-to-play unit in the game, right? I'm actually really surprised. Of everything we've gone over on the list so far, this is the one that I'm most surprised doesn't already have something free-to-play farmable. So, kind of interesting. Okay, next up we have got Super Janemba here. So again, quite a few options. We have 2 different Dokkan Fest units here. We've got a Yellow Coin LR, and then this one is an SR, summonable SR Fat Janemba that awakens into the Super Janemba here. So same deal as the Gotenks'. And then obviously this is just an active skill transformation for the Dokkan Fest Fat Janemba there. All right, next up we have Future Mai. So it's just 3 banner units at this point, nothing insane. She's obviously not, one of the craziest units on the list, but again, being such a, I'll say low-tier character, in the sense that, like, I can't imagine this is some crazy unit that Dokkan holds in high respects and would only ever, release during major celebrations and stuff. It's just kind of a random unit. We could definitely see a free-to-play version of her. Right, that wouldn't be too unreasonable to ask for. All right, and then right back to the top tier villains, we've got Omega Shenron. So again, same kind of deal here. We have the 1 Carnival LR. We've got 2 Dokkan Fest units here aside from that. And then we also have this guy who drops as an SR Sin Shenron and then awakens into an Omega. But again, same deal. He is a summonable SR, so you can only receive so many copies of him. Definitely could use a full free-to-play version of him. Okay, following that, we've got Pan GT. So we have the physical and STR banner units here. We've got the Tech Dokkan Fest Pan, and then as well as the AGL 50% support Pan GT. So quite a few of them. And then we have the Tech and Int summonable SRs. So again, would be nice to see a free-to-play version of her. Hopefully you guys are starting to, like, gather by this point, like, the point I'm making here, if you were to take all of these units together, right, because remember that I'm doing the 1 in every slot, right, like just quite how annoying this has been, even though this isn't like an insanely long list of units, and still just has been a little bit annoying over time. Like, look at how many pans there are here, and half of them already have easy A's too, so that's going to basically be like 4 copies of these pans and then 3 copies of the ones that don't have easy A's, in order to get them fully maxed out, and it's SA10 for all of them, right? And you're only going to pull so many of these pans here, so it's just a lot of Kais, and then you multiply that for every single one of these units across all of this. It's just like, it's easily over 1,000 Kais that I've had to use because these units are not free to play farmable. Okay. So next up, we've got Topo here. We obviously have the Dokkan Fest Topo, and then the 2 banner units. So again, nothing super insane, but I do think that Topo is a unit that's a more reasonable ask for, like, a free-to-play unit to come out, right? Though I think it's possible it's going to be a long time before that kind of thing happens at this point, just because we did get the, Dokkan Fest Topo, and then we had the whole Universe 11 celebration, where we got the new Jirins, we got the Mayan Coquette, around that time as well, which also, and then we got another set of Peppy Gal Easy A's, that Easy A like Kawaii, and Margarita, giving us more like Universe Survival Saga buffs and more Universe 11 buffs. So I think it's probably a long time. Oh yeah, especially, and then the STR Dispo that came out with the Tech UI Goku. So yeah, probably a while before we're going to see any more Pride Troopers type content. But yeah, would love to see a free-to-play Topo in the game. Okay, next up here, we've got Super Saiyan Trunks Teen. So this is one that's a little bit extensive here. Let's see. So we do have 1 summonable SR that we can use as SA food frequently. This is obviously just the active skill transformation for the base form Trunks Teen Dokkan Fest. And then here we've got the Super Saiyan Trunks Teen, the Dokkan Fest buff Trunks. But obviously when he drops, he is a Super Saiyan Trunks. He only becomes buff Trunks during his active skill. We've got this ancient banner unit that is a Super Saiyan Trunks Teen, this newer banner unit, the Hybrid Saiyan support, and then obviously we've got this Yellow Coin LR, which he obviously drops as a base form Trunks teen as well, just like this guy. It doesn't become the Super Saiyan version until you awaken him to TUR. So you don't really need to focus on him for the SA portion of things. It's really just these 3 units in the middle, the Dokkan Fest, and then the 2 banner units. So, oh, actually, no, I'm silly. This guy drops his base Trunks as well. That's why he's not right here. Yeah, so actually, honestly, I kind of do want to delete him off this list. After looking a little bit closer at this, yeah, there was only like 2 units there. So it doesn't really, you know, beg that hard for like a free-to-play unit to exist for him. There were about 10 more units on this list before I started the video, but then just in reviewing, I noticed that like a lot of them, it really was only like 2 random banner units or something, so I ended up deleting a lot of them off. So just keep that in mind, that as you're watching this list, there are a lot more units that do still need free-to-play units attached to their name, but there just isn't like a large majority of units in the game that have that name, or like, you know, they're just not a priority because it's not a very like popular unit or whatever. And then obviously there's like 1,000 units that have, you know, that are join forces cards that have multiple names on them. Obviously, most of those are never going to be free to play farmable just because they're random one-off combinations that they would never recreate again. Anyways, so on to Super Trunks here. So, okay, this is the active skill Super Trunks for the Dokkan Fest Trunks we were just looking at. And then we've got the World Tournament SSR here, as well as the 2 banner units. Oh, and then this is Super Trunks from the Exchange Trunks and Vegeta free-to-play card. The Vegeta Family Support unit. So obviously he doesn't count, but yeah, just the 3 banner units here, or 2 banner units and 1 World Tournament unit, so not too terribly insane. Okay, so coming up beyond this, we now have the top 5. So I am going to be, these are actually in order of the top 5. So everything that we've looked at below is like the bottom part of the top 20, and then now we are into the top 5. So in 5th place on this list, coming up, we have Super Saiyan Bardock. This was the very first unit over time that made me start thinking about this idea. This was like the first unit in my box that I realized there was no super attack farmable for, and there were way too many units, and just I always needed more and more Kais on them. I always needed more and more copies of these guys to drop. I'm pretty sure I still do. I'm pretty sure I'm to the point now where I have, I'm working on this guy right here because he is a, summonable SR that Dokkan awakens into a Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, and because I've had to use so many of him over time, feeding in super attack levels for all these other Bardocks, I haven't been able to just level up his own super attack for him yet, so I'm pretty sure I can still use copies just for the base unawakened SR Super Saiyan Bardock. So we're going to go in reverse here from physical to AGL real quick. So obviously we have the physical banner unit. We have the STR banner unit that Dokkan awakens here into a Super Saiyan 2 Bardock. And then we have the World Tournament Int Super Saiyan Bardock there. Next to him we have another Tech banner unit here. And then this one here is just the active skill for the Dokkan Fest base form Bardock. And if you'll notice, this here is actually the new AGL Quest Mode Bardock that you can Dokkan Awaken for free and purchase for, well, not for free, but you do have to purchase in the shop. Free is in you don't have to summon him, right? He is actually a free-to-play character, so technically he should, this Super Saiyan Bardock shouldn't be on this list because there is a free-to-play farmable version of it, but not perfectly, right? The reason I'm still including him on the list is because, yeah, sure, you could buy as many copies of this guy as you want and Dokkan Awaken as many copies as you want, but he is a little bit pricey. I think it's a little bit unfair to consider this just the free-to-play version of Bardock, of Super Saiyan Bardock that exists, and we leave it at that. As far as for, like, super attack grinding purposes, simply because you need 318 of his Dokkan Awakening medal in order to Dokkan Awaken him. And I believe they cost 2 green incredible gems apiece, so you're going to have to be paying upwards of, like, 630, I believe 636 would be the exact number of green incredible gems you would need just to literally Dokkan Awaken 1 copy of this guy. And that doesn't even include the cost for buying the card. Yeah, so as you can see here, we'll take a look right here. 318 medals. to Dokkan Awaken him, and then it costs another 100 to just buy him to begin with. And the medals do cost 2 per. So it's going to be 436. Did I do that math right? Yeah. So, or no, not 736 incredible gems just to get one copy of him. Now imagine you needed to SA10 one of them. So that's going to be pretty darn expensive to be able to do, right? So I just don't think that, like, you know, obviously most players don't have like 200,000 incredible gems sitting around. And then obviously I've got another almost 300k in blue gems that I could just easily transfer if I wanted to. So for me, it's not a big deal. But for the average player, I don't think that this is fair or, you know, counts as a real, like, free-to-play farmable option. Oh, we're getting our daily login here. You guys get to watch me do my Hercules heart-pounding gifts. Great. All right, we get the super lucky. Wonderful. I think there's only like 2 versions of it to go around this time. You either get super lucky or ultra super lucky every time, which is good. No, oh, I need to remove this OST so bad. It just doesn't have the same volume levels on it as the other OSTs that I use, so it's really annoying to edit and post. Shoot, I lost my spot here. Oh, right, we were at the top 10. Okay, so, or top 5. So, Super Saiyan Bardock here. Yes, I think I've said all I need to say about that. So yeah, aside from the iconicness of how ancient this problem has been in the game and how long I've been acknowledging Bardock for this issue, on top of the fact that they decided to troll us with this crazy expensive free-to-play card and then leave him at that, I say, nay, Dokkan, not good enough. We need another Super Saiyan Bardock. I want to see a story event with an easily free-to-play farmable Super Saiyan Bardock that just drops as a Super Saiyan Bardock. Or I guess he could drop as a Bardock and then Dokkan Awaken into one, right? Okay, so that's it for Super Saiyan Bardock. Number 4 on this list is Rose. So yeah, this is a pretty big deal, considering there's only 4 cards in the game that are that drop as Super Saiyan Rose, and they are all Dokkan Fests. Well, 3 of them are Dokkan Fests, and 1 of them is an LR. So, like, yeah, I think this is a a pretty important unit. But again, it is also one of the, like, top tier villains that they would seemingly take a lot of issue with just dropping some random free-to-play unit of it. But I think that they could take some advice from, like, what they did with Fusion Zamasu, where they just have, like, a Dokkan event that drops an SR version of it, and then that's all you get, right? So it's not like a real usable unit or anything, nothing that people are ever going to put on teams, but it's just a nice little box collection, and then it would help you with your super attack effects. Now, obviously, the Dokkan event cards would be a good solution for a lot of these units here, and that is something that they've done in the past, right? Certain free-to-play farmable cards we only have because of that, like Jiren is a good example, right? The only Jiren, or the only free-to-play, like, Buhan. These units are droppable from Dokkan events, but they're also all ancient, and they don't really do that anymore with Dokkan events, so we would have to see them revert to their old ways for something like that to exist, unfortunately. But I thought that was a good solution, because if you go look back through all of those cards that are farmable out of Dokkan events, you'll notice most of them are top-tier villains that they just gave some, like, random shitty card to, so... I wish that they had continued that for all of the, you know, named top-tier villains in the game. That would be really, really cool. Unfortunately, that remains to be seen, and that concludes, you know, that results in Rose being 4th on this list. All right, on to number 3, we have Kid Buu. This is another one of the most ancient versions of this problem in my account, as all these Kid Buus have been around for a very long time. So this is another one of those saving grace kind of characters where we're not at a complete loss, because we do have this STR Kid Buu right here, who Dokkan Awakens from a South Kai absorbed SR Buu, but he is a summonable SR, so you do have a limited amount of him to use, and then obviously with having the 2 different banner units and then the 3 different Dokkan Fest Kid Buus, there is just a lot of SA to fill out and go around. So yeah, I'm still at the point where I can use more and more of this guy. I am constantly farming the Pure Destruction and Carnage medals that it takes to Dokkan Awaken this guy, just because I know every time I pull one of those South Kai Boos, I'm immediately going to Dokkan Awaken him and feed him into one of the various Kid Boos sitting in my box. So, yeah, Kid Boo, definitely very needed. Doesn't notice anything else funny about this major top-tier villain? I think it's the first one we've passed in this entire list where there's no LR. No LR Kid Boo. That's a huge question. This is what I want to see in the comments below. What do you think is going to happen first? Are they going to release a summonable LR Kid Boo? I'm talking a unit that drops immediately as a Kid Boo, not some weird transforming stuff that includes Kid Boo, not Kid Boo in an active skill, not Kid Boo and someone else fighting each other, just legitimately a straight up LR Kid Boo. That would be right here under this named category, Kid Boo. Or are they going to do that exact same thing, but for a free-to-play unit? Which one are we going to get first? The summonable LR Kid Boo or the free-to-play Kid Boo? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, so bringing up number 2 on this list here, we have Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. So again, obviously a huge ask for Dokkan to create a free version of this character that we can obtain. This is one of the biggest, baddest villains in all of Dragon Ball history. But there are quite a few units that utilize this name at this point, right? We've got the, the Worldwide Celebration LR that just recently dropped here. We have the 2 Dokkan Fest units, the Physical and STR Dokkan Fest here. And then we also have the Int Dokkan Fest as well. Though I'm thinking... Oh, okay, so the Int Dokkan Fest, it looks like he drops probably as just a Super Saiyan Broly. Oh, yeah. He just drops a Super Saiyan Broly, and then once you Dokkan Awaken him, he becomes the Legendary Super Saiyan. So it's just these 3 here. But they're all... Well, okay, these 2 are very powerful Dokkan Fest units right now. He obviously isn't, but once he gets his Super EZA, then obviously he will join the ranks and be amazing as well. So yeah, I definitely think that it's very important, simply because of the sheer power of these units. That's why he is number 2 on this list. But thinking about it now, as I take a closer look and see that, like, this guy isn't needed for the SA levels, and then obviously these are just, like, the LRs that get the Legendary Super Saiyan, where, the previous forms of these Brolys are not Legendary Super Saiyan. I don't know. Maybe I would move him down below, like that. Maybe, like, 4th. Honestly, maybe 5th below Bardock. We'll put him at 5th. I think reevaluating that makes sense. Okay, so Legendary Super Saiyan, Bardock, Rose, Kid Boo, and then topping out the list is our boy, Majin Vegeta. So there is another case of, like, a big bad unit that obviously it would take a lot for Dokkan to just stomach releasing a free version of him, which... As to pause for a moment, technically they have, because this physical Majin Vegeta right here is available from the Ultimate Class shop with the Battlefield memories. Now, it's a little bit funky because I'm pretty sure you can only buy like 5 copies of him right now. I think. We could go fact check that real quick once I finish this link level run. We'll go double check this guy really quick. But I know for that I'm pretty sure it's a limited amount, but it just being in the Battlefield memory shop, like, obviously that's not a place where you're spending heavily because there's so many really expensive LRs to buy in there, and, like, I don't even have everything rainbowed in this shop yet. So, a lot of people don't even have a singular copy of this unit, let alone, like, being able to buy extra copies of him for whatever. Okay, so it turns out you can actually get unlimited copies of these. It was just the Krillin and 18 in here that I was thinking of, that you could only buy the 5 copies. So yeah, you can get as many copies of this guy as you want. Just unfortunately, like, obviously it's 30,000 Battlefield memory in order to get him, and, with all of these other LRs and stuff sitting here that are much more expensive, you would not want to waste any of your currency that they don't give out nearly enough of on this guy. So I don't really count him as a free-to-play card. Just because he is not, like, infinitely obtainable, right? So technically free to play, but not, like, farmable. So yeah, we have the STR banner unit here. We've got the Tech banner unit here, and then we have the Int Dokkan Fest Majin Vegeta and the AGL Yellow Coin LR Majin Vegeta. So yeah, between all of those units, quite a bit of Majin Vegeta to go around. But again, as I'm reevaluating this, I feel like maybe it should drop just a little bit lower on the list, just because of the sheer power of these units and like necessity of these units is a little bit lower maybe than like. I kind of like that. Yeah, I kind of want to go Broly, Majin Vegeta, Bardock being at 3rd, yes, and then Rose, and then Kid Buu. Yeah. All right, that is a solid list to me, in my opinion. Sure, having Kid Buu up there at the top as the most needed, not only the most needed LR in the game, but also the most needed free-to-play unit in the game. Very good stuff. All right, well, let me know what you guys thought of this list. Let me know if there's any other units in your box that you find incredibly annoying. I know sometimes there are really, really funky strats in order to getting free-to-play grinds done. So if you think of any units in your box where you're like, what? I've done these crazy free-to-play grinds over time, or these grinds have been unavailable for me, but they're not on your list, feel free to message me about that in the comments below, and I can let you know if there's some weird strat you maybe don't know about. That would allow you to free-to-play farm that character, or if I just slipped up and absolutely missed out on one of the biggest gaping holes in free-to-play content that we have. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.